was good.
It was kind of empty.
But it was so cool.
I don't really remember any moments.
Well, let's talk about the things that we're certain of.
My turn.
Come together.
It's no secret that the DCEU has struggled in its attempts to catch up with the MCU, and this applies to both their quantity and quality of films.
With the exception of Wonder Woman, which was the one movie that seemed to stand out from the main plot of the franchise, there hasn't been another DCEU movie that seemed to do well.
But Wonder Woman showed us that DC has the capability of creating not just good, but great films.
All it had to do was, gosh, take your pick. Create more emotionally investing characters, scale back the plot, stop making group movies.
Which they responded to by making Justice League, a group superhero movie.
But the most important question is, does this film learn from past mistakes? Yes!
And no.
Shall we?
As most people know, Zack Snyder unfortunately had to step down from the film following a personal tragedy, so Joss Whedon took over and even got a screenplay credit.
And trust us, that shows. This film could have been a lot worse, but some of Whedon's personality and filmmaking techniques leaked out in some of the characters.
And oddly enough, everyone gets their fair share of screen time.
But let's get into the very basic plot.
The villain of the film is an ancient being named Steppenwolf.
Stepping time, come on, mighty, stepping time.
He's kind of a weak villain.
But refreshingly, his goal is simple.
Take over the world.
No. Yes. But more specifically, find these 3 cubes that have been stranded on Themyscira, Atlantis, and deep in the Earth. Together, they have the power to destroy the Earth and transform it into the terrain of Steppenwolf's homeland.
The rest of the film, not much happens.
I would disagree a little bit. Because the plot is very simple, it gives us ample time to see Bruce and Diana recruit the team, similar to the Avengers in that sense.
But everything just seems so empty and formulaic. It seems like this was a good first draft.
I think the problem is DC films always have the deck stacked against them, so your expectations will very much impact how you will view the film. So as you can see, we do disagree a little bit. I went in with low expectations and liked it, and he went in with high expectations and didn't like it.
Okay, but can we agree on at least one thing? The effects.
Yeah, the effects are not great. From my perspective though, if the effects were the bad part and the characters were the good part, I think that's a good sign.
But that background green screen, it just looked so stupid, and I personally thought the action was only okay.
I don't know, I kind of liked the action because it was very character driven.
Well, without spoiling anything, I feel like we should go into each character briefly. The Flash is still goofy, and there's some trailer moments that make their way into the movie, but he's surprisingly fun to watch, even if his run is not.
Cyborg was far more involved in the film than I thought he would be, and his skills and gadgets really went to good use.
And Aquaman is actually pretty complex, given that this is his first and only real appearance in this universe.
And not to spoil anything, but I think it's kind of obvious through the marketing that a certain character's fate is going to be revealed. And let's just say,
We both had differing opinions on that, but go see the movie and judge it for yourself.
I'll take that as a yes.
This film takes a few massive steps back. Now, I happen to think that that's a good thing.
Well, I think that that's a bad sign when a franchise takes steps back, especially at this stage. Sure, they can reevaluate, but it just doesn't bode well that the studio is revealing a weakness.
I think, all in all, it comes down to how much are you willing to forgive?
What do you think about this film being a film that reevaluates the franchise and isn't just a Justice League movie, which it should be?
And what are your expectations going in? Overall, I liked it.
I enjoyed the watch.
I think what you should probably take away from this is that if you're a DC fan, if you're a comics fan, if you're anybody skeptical about going to see this movie, we think that you should probably give it a watch because you might be surprised. Who knows?
Alright. I don't recognize this world.
You don't have to recognize him. You just have to save it.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. Now, I know that we have different opinions like we said, but I'll go first in basically my own opinion of the film.
Yeah.
not good. But it's not that bad either. Well, I didn't love it, I didn't hate it. I basically liked the middle portion of the film because it was just empty fun and you saw the characters react to each other. The beginning was like recruitment, and then it was like villain. I don't know what was happening, but then the end was just big action scene, and I did enjoy it. But comparing it to like Batman v Superman, Suicide Squad, yes, it is better, but I think it still has the same problems as it, maybe even a little bit more, but in a different way, which is interesting because of how much the production of it was interesting. I don't know about you, but I could watch it.
We basically almost have like identical grades and identical like set like what we would give this film, yet we still have such differing opinions on how it went, because for me, I didn't think it was just empty fun. I didn't think the, you know, just having character in Act 1, having recruiting in Act 2, and having action in Act 3, yes, that's very formulaic, and it's not good for a film. And this isn't a good film, but I still liked it, which is more than I can say. I can't say, aside from Wonder Woman, I liked any other film. And once again, I went in with very low expectations. I was expecting this to be the worst superhero movie this year, if not, like, almost
and
ever.
yet it's still better than Marvel this year.
And yet it's still better than all the Marvel films we saw, except for Spider-Man. So I think that Lex Luthor, like, it's not a complete clean slate. Like, taking these steps back, which I think is a good thing, they don't go all in with taking the steps back.
If you're gonna go all in and actually erase everything and start from scratch, then do that. Everything I liked, I disliked too, so I basically liked half of the film. I thought it was mediocre. I liked Deathstroke coming in at the end, but then you have Lex Luthor. I like Superman smiling, but then you get stupid scenes with them like racing and you don't even get to finish the race with Flash. I like Batman, but then it feels like Ben Affleck doesn't want to be there. I like the mascara in Wonder Woman, but they reveal their bellies, and it's like, oh, are they trying to sexualize them? We have, you know, Wonder Woman.
Oh, I read about that, but I heard that was just for stunt purposes. But
I like the Flash, but half of his comedy doesn't work. Like, for example, I like the joke when he comes in, he's like, ooh, this looks like a cave. A bat cave? I'm like,
nah.
Okay. I like Cyborg, but we don't get to see anything before him becoming Cyborg. We just are told by his father.
Yeah, and I think that stuff comes down to, like, you didn't have the solo movies. You're already gonna, like, this film is not as epic as it could have been because you needed at least... First off, you needed at least a stronger villain. Because they decided to do Justice League after Wonder Woman, I don't mind the simple plot. I don't mind the bad villain because of the fact that I know what they had against them. But if they had things like Aquaman, Cyborg, Flash, and then the villain stuff was slowly building, like, you get a little bit in this movie, a little bit, that little bit. Joss Whedon could have totally made this like an Avengers movie, which it's not. But I think, if I'm being honest with myself, because I want to give this a full price, and me personally, I would give a full price to, but if I'm being honest to you, the audience, I would definitely say accept as a gift. Go see it in theaters because it's Justice League, and I feel like if you're a DC fan, you're going to see it anyway. But I would say accept as a gift. What do you think?
I think it's the best, clunkiest movie I've seen in a while. I saw all the problems, but I still enjoyed it. So it is a red box. You can watch it and enjoy it for what it is. But it's not a good movie.
Yeah, well, as you can see, this is probably where we've disagreed the most, at least so far making these videos. But, you know, as usual, it's up to you guys whether you want to go see it.
It feels like a rough cut, needs more rights. But because of the deadlines and the production they were going through, they just kind of pushed it in theaters like, okay, this is what it is. We're not really setting anything up, but yet they do with Deathstroke, with the anti-heroes. But wait, are the other heroes, like the Justice League, going to get their own solo movies? But is Ben Affleck returning? Like, we don't know what's happening, but for what it is, it's fine.
It's a martyr film, is how I like to describe it. It's the film that has to suffer for being technically a bad film for the other films to go on. It's the character that sacrifices themselves and meets this kind of not justified end, and then so that other movies can be better. And hopefully the other movies will be better. And if the other movies don't get better, then I feel bad for Justice League. But, you know, you guys should see for yourself. And as usual, before you guys go see a movie, check in with us first. Thanks for watching. Bye.
I hear you can talk to fish.